In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Direct Connect Plus 100% fluorocarbon from Berkley. Hello there, carpologists. I'm Joe, and today we're going to take a look at the CF600 line from Berkley. Now, this is 100% fluorocarbon. It's available in 5 different diameters and strengths, and this one today I've got with me is the 12-pound version. Now, I'll just take it out of its plastic container. This is something that all of Berkley lines comes in, so you can reuse the container for whatever you want, whether you want to just recycle it or maybe put some other fishing bits in there, because it's nice and hard plastic, keeps things safe in there, maybe some baits, glug, whatever you want, or just recycle it. Of course, it is 100% recyclable. Now, here is the line itself. Now, for any of you that have ever used fluorocarbon before, I've only used it a couple of times, didn't really like it because of the some of the characteristics that can come with fluorocarbons, and that is the fact that they can be, although they sink really well and virtually invisible in water, they can often be quite difficult to use. They need a lot more maintenance than, say, perhaps a mono, and they can just be a bit difficult to cast and things. But that's where this CF600 comes in, because although it's a fluorocarbon, it's got some of the characteristics that you like from a mono or something like that else. So if we just run it off the spool, as you can see, it's just flowing straight down. So there's zero memory in it. And if it was to get all crinkled up, just do a test for you. So we'll just scrunch it all up in my hands, really scrunch it together, put some kinks in it, make it horrible so that the line looks pretty nasty. Like so. Normally fluorocarbon wouldn't really recover very well from that. You'd have to cut some line off. If I just pull it out tight, stretch it, there we go, it's back to exactly as it was. Nice and zero memory to it, so although, like I said, it's a fluorocarbon, it's very easy to use. Now, this comes into effect in a few different ways when fishing. Is obviously a line that's easier to use, you're going to fish more effectively, but it means that casting is also a lot easier as well. Fluorocarbon notoriously can be quite a pain in the ass in casting, a lot of friction through the eyes, and because it's got a bit more of a memory to it, you just hear the resistance coming through the line. Because this is nice and smooth, zero memory, it casts really well as well. If you didn't know this was a fluoro, you'd probably think it was some kind of mono. Now, this is 100% PVDF fluoro, and the best way to test whether something is 100% fluorocarbon is to burn it. Now, if I get my lighter out and burn it, you probably can't see it from there, but it burns completely black. Now, that's how you can tell something is 100% fluorocarbon. If it burnt blackish with a bit of a tinge of black or something else, it's got fluorocarbon in it, but won't be 100% fluorocarbon. So there is your best test of checking whether something is 100% fluoro. So being a fluoro, it still has some of the fundamental aspects that people love about fluoro. It's virtually invisible in the water, and it sinks like a brick as well. But it also has an extremely good abrasion resistance. I'll run a couple of tests on this a second ago. Well, the other day actually, as you can see I'm in my courtyard right now. But I did some tests with a Stanley blade along it, rubbing it up and down until it eventually broke, and also did the same test on some tree bark, on a trunk of a tree, and it just kept on going and actually was chipping off some of the bark rather than breaking itself. So it's very, very high abrasion resistance. So not only does it sink well, it doesn't stretch well either, I'll get onto that in a second, but it doesn't break very easily as well. So if you're fishing snaggier waters or things that have a lot of rocks on the bottom, mussels, things like that, you can be rest assured that this will rub up and down. Where a venue where you ideally like to use braid perhaps, but you can't because of rules, this will come in very handy, and it will be nice and strong against all the different scenarios that you come up against. Now, also moving on to the stretch of it, virtually none at all. As you can see, I've got that between my thumbs, not moving, and it's just digging into my skin and actually starting to cut into my skin, so I'll have to be careful. But virtually zero stretch, which again is very, very handy with sensitivity when you're on the especially if you're fishing greater distances, so you know exactly what's happening at the other end. But also when you're playing the fish, you're in virtually direct contact with the fish. You're not losing any kind of sensitivity or ability to persuade where you want the fish to go through stretch of the line, because there virtually is none. And like I said earlier, once cast out, this sinks like a brick as well. And that, coupled with the fact that it has virtually zero memory, means that it will hug the bottom if you want to fish a more of a slack line and get your line completely pinned out the water. So that, coupled with the fact that fluoro virtually disappears in the water, you shouldn't raise any carp suspicions of your whereabouts, or at least it will drastically reduce your chances of getting picked up by the fish. Now, this is available in 1200 meters spools, and as you said earlier, it comes in 5 different strengths and diameters. So for more information, please head over to the Berkley website, where you can pick some of this up and have a look at all the other different lines they've got on their website. But for now, cheers for watching, and I'll see you again soon. And don't forget to subscribe to YouTube, hit the bell notification, and also follow us on Instagram and Facebook for daily content.